Okay, the first thing you're going to do is turn to a new page in your sketchbook, and you're going to label it modeling techniques or pen modeling techniques. And then from there, you're going to need 6 circles. I have circular templates in the front of the room along with pens, and you'll also need a pencil. You can trace the circles off of the templates in pencil, so you don't want it done in pen. I'm just using a cup to create my circles. So you want the outline and the drawing, all the sketches done in pencil, and then we're going to go in with pen. Okay, you're going to have 6 different modeling techniques from there. Okay, you're going to want hatching, okay, cross hatching, okay. From there, you're going to need contour, stipples, scribbles, and a combo, which is all of these together, okay? So now that you have your paper set up, we'll talk about what each of the 6 is. Hatching. Hatching is when all of the lines go in the same direction, okay? So if you think of your light source coming from here, your highlight, and your darkest area on the opposite end, you start to make marks building up. One thing about these pens, I'm doing the opposite of what I just said. One thing about these pens is that if you want the marks to get lighter as it goes, usually where you place the pen on the paper is going to be your darkest, and as you pull away, it's going to go and get a little bit lighter. So you'll notice this side starts to read lighter, and you're building up marks in the same direction to get your darkest value.
Okay.
Okay, and don't forget about your shadow. Now I did the opposite, so my highlight's going to start coming from this way, and it's going to be darkest underneath, and then my shadow is going to place away from it. Again, the shadow is done in the same manner, so a shadow is darkest underneath and gets lighter, so the lines stay the same. Now cross-hatching. Cross-hatching is building up kind of like hatching in opposite directions, okay? So what I'll end up doing is building up hatching marks going in one direction, and then I'll go the opposite direction. You don't have to do a lot of small X's. It's really just building up until you get your darkest value underneath. And it doesn't have to just be in opposite directions. You can build up in overlap directions. Okay. Now again, don't forget about your shadow. Darkest underneath, build up. Okay, and again, I'm doing this quickly as examples. Okay, now contour line. Contour line, think of your line wrapping around. So if I were to run my hand across the surface of this, it would wrap with it, creating your darkest value. Okay, so contour line wraps with the surface. Lightest value has the least amount of marks, darkest value has the most amount of marks. Okay, and then stipples. Stipples are made up of small marks or dots. This is not hitting the surface with your pen. You will break the pen if you do that. It's usually, I often describe it as flicking the wrist to build this up. Okay, so it's kind of like a little tap, but it's controlled. I know where these marks are going to go because I'm using control when I'm hitting the paper. I'm not hitting it hard. I'm just building up with marks. More marks are going to give you a darker value. Less marks are going to give you your lighter value. So I can go back and fill in those areas. Okay, scribbling is exactly what it sounds. Sometimes it's even called scumbling. You're building up marks with a scribble. More marks where you want the darker value, less marks where you had a lighter value or your highlight.
And don't forget about the shadow.
Okay, and then the last is a combination of any of these. You could choose 2 of them, or you could do cross-hatching with stipples, or you could do a couple of them together, but you're going to try them out with several of them, okay? And I don't need to demo that at this point. All right, so what you want to do is you want to practice these techniques until they look good. If you have to do them more than once, that's fine, okay?